Well, folks, here again for the weekly forecast. Last week we talked about the potential for the U.S. Western Ridge that's been dominating much of Southern California all the way up the western United States and has caused a significant lack of moisture for the entire winter. There was the signs that it was going to start to break down in response to warm water moving into the Gulf of Alaska that would help to basically jack up some of these upper air lows that have been basically moving up into Canada, then down through the central Prairie Province regions and bringing that cold air into our region. Well, it actually broke down a couple days earlier than originally forecasted, so we've seen that energy move into the central Rockies during the midweek period, and the result was with some pretty significant snowfall across the central north through the northern Rockies, and in fact within the Platte River Basin, snowfall totals were anywhere from 1 to upwards of 3 to 3.5 foot of snowfall. But more importantly, that energy moved out into the Central Plains and brought some very welcome snowfall to the southern Panhandle and southwestern Nebraska, where we really haven't seen much in the way of significant snow most of the winter. Very important because we haven't had much moisture, so at least we have something to work with in the short term, and the hope is that this trend will continue. As you move farther east, of course, the snowfall totals were not nearly as excessive, as we've seen a couple inches fall Thursday night into Friday morning, and then of course with the second wave coming through last night and continuing this morning, we're seeing a couple more additional inches. That is expected to pass to the east of us, so overall it looks like the heaviest totals on the southwest and southern Panhandle, anywhere probably from 6 to 8 inches on the heavier side. And we'll take it. We just need to see more of these systems, and there is the opportunity for yet a couple more systems as we go through this extended period. So let's take a look at the upper air models and see how the week will progress. Here is our system. All the energy with this yellow is now moving up in the Great Lakes, so in this wake we're left with the cooler air. And we're going to definitely see more winter-like conditions today, but more importantly, as this ridge starts to move and break down toward the east, we're going to get a northwest flow. It's going to be coming over a snowpack, but it's not that Arctic plunge of temperatures. Overnight lows may drop down below zero across northeast Nebraska, but overall fairly typical for this time of the year. But more importantly, I'll draw your attention to the southwest as another system looks like it's going to start to come in, and this one gets a little bit interesting, particularly as we get into Monday, because we start to wind it up and we start to shoot some energy out into the western plains of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. And if this system lifts just slightly toward the north, we could see some of that energy moving into south central Nebraska as early as Monday evening. But more importantly, as we get to Tuesday, this system really comes out. It's got some good cold air behind it. The main heavy snow band looks like it's going to be across the eastern half of Kansas, but if we lift this of 50 to 100 miles to the north, we could look at some fairly robust accumulations of snowfall across southeast and portions of south central Nebraska. So pay attention. This probably will evolve and change dramatically in the next few days. Now, as we get into the day on Wednesday, the system moves toward the upper Midwest, and we will be looking at a northwest flow that will weaken over time, so we're going to see a gradual warming in temperatures across the southern part of the state. The colder temperatures will remain in the east or northeast. And then on Thursday we see a westerly flow, so we'll get downsloping component in the west, so we might see temperatures moving up into the 20s, possibly low 30s. And then as we get into Friday, another system starts to make its way into the central Rockies. So if we look at the temperature forecast, the coldest temperatures will be this weekend. We'll see another shot of snow on Monday, Tuesday, some colder air behind it, particularly over the northeast, and then we'll warm up toward the weekend. 8 to 14 day forecast from next Friday through the following Tuesday. Cold conditions continue, and in terms of precipitation, that next system comes in gives us an above normal chance across the western half of the state.